Hi, welcome back to Bride Society. I'm Rebecca.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Naomi with Beyond the Literal.
So today we're here with a very special video because we are here with Naomi from Beyond the Literal, who is a professional makeup artist, and we're here answering your beauty makeup questions for your wedding day. So we spoke to some of you over on Instagram to find out what your questions are, and hopefully we'll have some good answers for you.
Yeah, so before we get cracking on the questions, Naomi, do you want to just say a bit about yourself and Beyond the Literal?
Oh, I would love to. First, I want to say thank you so much for this conversation. I am so excited to be having it from California. And so I feel like I've met two new friends. And so I'm so grateful for you guys and your time. As they were saying, I'm a professional makeup artist, and I've been a makeup artist for the last 15 years. I started Beyond the Literal with my business and life partner, Caesar, and pre-COVID, we were working on adventure elopements, and we took brides and their fiancés up some epic hikes, and he's a photographer, and I was the hair and makeup artist, and we would go on these adventures, and they would get married, and it was amazing. And then COVID, and since COVID and the global pandemic, like many other artists and people in the industry, have had to figure out how to reposition ourselves in a way that still allowed us to be our artist, be a business. And so the second iteration of Beyond the Literal is a learning platform teaching women how to define their beauty philosophy. And then I make professional product recommendations that are unaffiliated to any brand and that are personalized to these brides so that they can learn during their private one-on-one sessions how to apply makeup and how to approach makeup that fits their lifestyle and their aspirations.
The type of questions we got, I think, to start off with, were a lot about the sort of preparation of the skin ahead of the wedding day. So are there things that the brides-to-be can do to make sure that the makeup will look great on the day? Like, what can they kind of do ahead of W Day?
That's a great question. I would first and foremost say, think of this as how you would a marathon. Let's just pretend we're athletes. We're all athletes. We're all like triathletes right now. And you have to prepare in the beginning. Like, give yourself time. Like, you don't want to go to the marathon and be like, and then expect to do well. So we have to prep, which is where we'll start. So
how much time are we talking here? Like, you are, or just...
Well, okay, so I mean, at the day of, you want your skin to look like beautiful skin, and in my style aesthetic, when it comes down to makeup, if we can show as much skin as possible, especially within the makeup, it feels more fresh, it feels more like you, and it actually photographs really well if your skin looks good. So the amount of time that I would take, anything, I would say 3 months. That's a great amount of time to be focusing on how much water you're drinking, to have a routine that works with your skin concerns. So like the two main takeaways I would say to that question is, number one, like, what are your skin goals? What is it that you aspire to do? And then what are your skin concerns? So that if you can address those two things in a skin routine or regimen that works for you, the day of is gonna feel like, again, you're prepped and you're ready to go. And then it's amazing how little makeup you have to wear when your skin feels good. And I mean, it goes with water, right? It goes with mindset. If you're preparing everything, like if you're stressed, your skin's gonna look stressed. So a gratitude journal. Like if you're not moving as much, also it's just gonna sit in the skin. So like there's prepped things that you can do that are really gonna help the day of.
Okay, so it's sort of water, like physical activity, like I guess other things that you're physically doing to your face?
Yeah, so like if you figure out what your skin goals were and your skin concerns, then you can use like a regimen that works for you. So if you're really dry and you just know you're dry, or you're in a dry climate, or then you would be focusing more on oils, right? You would probably be focusing more on night creams. If you're really oily and really dry, then you're also probably focusing more on your pores. You're focusing on good exfoliators. But everyone's thing is so different. ladies, I love me some cocktails. Like that is how I treat myself. Like I want a fancy cocktail. But the way that works is that my cocktail is going to be different than your cocktail. So like figuring out what cocktail works for you is going to be that discovery phase that I think every bride should treat themselves to, because this is your day. Like this, if you don't like just want to fully invest in yourself on that day, you want to fully invest in yourself for that day, because that's how you're going to feel your best, I think.
Mm-hmm. So what we're saying is, it's not just the wedding day that you get to like be pampered and live life to the full. You've got like 3 months beforehand where you've got full excuse to be like, this is all about me.
Oh yeah.
Taking the time.
Yes.
Understood.
If I'm a clueless bride who wants to start on this journey, kind of where do I start finding out how, like what my skin is like, what's my skin type and what I need to do? Where do I find these regimes?
That's a great question. So I think that the first thing you want to do is find someone who resonates with your beauty philosophy. So there's an abundance of brands out there. There's so much information. It can feel very overwhelming. It can feel like, are you just selling me, or do you actually care about what it is that I want? You know what I mean? And so like, that's where Beyond the Literal for me is one of those situations that I love to tell women, like, we have to discover what's your beauty philosophy. I don't want to give you a routine that's going to take you 15 minutes when you're maybe a mom or a student or a lawyer and someone or whatever it is, and you're like, Naomi, I've got 5 minutes. Can you understand? I've got 5 minutes to do this thing. So that's one thing I love about like what I offer, is giving women that space of being like, I want to know. Ladies, I actually want to know how it could work for you. Like, that is something I'm passionate about. But if that's not the case, and if you decide to go another route, I would say to be really open and upfront with a brand that you're really interested in, then speak with one of their artists or representatives or what have you.
So so we've done the 3 months prep. Skin's looking great. On the actual wedding morning, what should somebody be doing to make their makeup kind of sit the best, feel like, so they feel great about when they have their makeup applied?
Well, because again, we have prepped for the marathon, like you said. So like game day, you're not stressed on game day because you're like, I've done all the work, brushed my shoulders off, like I'm ready to go. So one of the things that I like to tell women to do before the wedding day, before we get there really quick, is when you're practicing your look, when you're practicing what that looks like for you, your wedding day makeup, I always suggest having on a white dress or a white blouse of some sort, because I don't know if you've ever like done your hair or done your makeup, and then the moment you put the thing on, it changes the look completely. So doing your makeup with a white blouse on is a game changer. You'll know, do I need a little bit more blush? Do I have a little bit too much eyeshadow going on? That kind of thing. And then the other thing I want to say before the wedding day really quick is do your makeup and hair together, so that on the wedding day, you're like, I know exactly what works for me. I know exactly what I'm going to do. And then prepping the day of the wedding. Set the mood. Set your mood. Get some candles out, like put your playlist on, and give yourself plenty of time. And so like for primers and keeping the makeup on, it's gonna go to your skin concerns. So if you have really oily skin, maybe something that has more of a silicone base is a great way to prevent the barrier of your skin pH levels can change the way your makeup is. So having a silicone base will almost be a barrier between your skin and the makeup. But if you are really, really dry, I don't know if you've been so dry that the makeup just looks off on your skin. It just doesn't work. So you would want to use something that's really hydrating. And again, this is that cocktail situation in that you have to ask yourself, like, what is it that you want? And then there are things in that range for you. But primers, see, I never use primers. Do you ladies like primers? Are you guys into primers for you personally?
I have super oily skins.
Yeah, okay, there you go. See, that's so funny. See, I'm so dry. it's like if I add one more layer of makeup in that, like I like to keep makeup really thin, and that's like a great way to actually have your makeup last longer, is keeping it like building really thin layers. But the fact that you're like, no, like you're like, Naomi, I have to. I think that's so like that's so personal. And if I wear a primer, I feel like it just like sucks it all up. It's so interesting. Or even age. Age is also another one. Like what's your skin like? You know what I mean? Like when I was 14, I don't know about you, but you could wear glitter all over your face and you were like, how does she make glitter look so good? You know, like
yeah, I don't know if I was making glitter look good at that age.
I knew glitter back then. I don't think I was like worked the glitter look person.
No, y'all. I was just like, glitter. I've been wearing glitter for like a minute. I can't.
And I suppose the sort of follow-on question to that is about like SPF. So I know I asked this question living in the UK where sunlight is a rarity, but even so, I know it, even with clouds, it's still there, right? These harmful sun rays. So particularly on the wedding day, like what should brides do about SPF, or if they're putting on, when should they put it on? Like, how does it work with makeup that's just not gonna make you feel like, yeah, how do you handle that? Like,
oh, okay. I know like the right answer, and then I know the answer I would give like everybody. Like if there was an esthetician watching me, she's gonna like, seriously, Naomi, what? And then there's like the part of me that's like, listen, here's the thing. I'm gonna give you my advice, but also knowing you should wear, I'm gonna do the disclaimer. Wear SPF every day. Because you're wearing SPF 35, you have to put it on every 35 minutes for each minute you're in the sun. Like, SPF, if you're wearing it every day, great. But it's kind of like, think of yourself as, again, we're going back to athletes. Do you get a cheat day? To me, your wedding day is almost like a no SPF day. And the reason I say this is because there's titanium dioxide in SPF, and the flashback is real. And that's that glare between when you see white, when your skin looks really light in photos here versus like your body. And what happens is with that titanium dioxide, it changes because it's creating like this soft layer of reflective, because you don't want the sun to hit you. And so if you are going to wear it, if that's like, Naomi, that's not an option, I would keep it super low. Or ask yourself, how long am I going to be in the sun? Can I carry an umbrella? Like, are there things that I can do to prevent myself from being in the sun, in that like I'll carry an umbrella so that it doesn't hit me as much, but like it's in the camera that it picks it up, especially with flash photography. And like you said, you guys are going to be shooting a lot indoors. From what I've understood, you got to always be prepared for rain in the UK. So if you're going to be inside, there's no real reason to have the SPF anyways. It's a hard one. A spray is really good, an SPF spray. If you're like, Naomi, it's not, like an SPF spray is really nice because then it's just a sheer wash. And don't just stop at the face, bring it all the way down to the body. It's just a hard one for me in photos.
Before makeup, or are you putting this on after? Like, I was thinking, do you put it on, do you let it like soak in a little bit, like settle, and then do the makeup thing? Like, where does it sit? Like, what's the deal, Naomi?
Yeah. So what I would say, if it was a huge thing, which would be layering your SPF, then I'm like, if that's one of your skin goals, if that's one of the things that's really important to you, then get your SPF that has a primer. As a primer, get a foundation that has an SPF, and then really focus on like powder and do some tests, like shoot the photos, get your own and practice and see what does it look like, how much or how little.
So you mentioned about kind of maybe foregoing the SPF on your wedding day for photos, but is there anything else kind of makeup wise that to make sure that you're looking good in person and both in your photos?
Oh, that's such a good question. It's a good question because a lot of times this is the first time a bride is in front of a camera for like 8 hours. you know, and there's so much going on, and so she's excited, so you're probably sweating more. Like there's just so much going on that day. So doing your makeup for photos versus in person is super important to think about. The first thing I would want to say, and thinking about SPF and thinking about primer and then foundation and all of the things, is to make sure you keep your layers really thin. And when I say layers, each one should have an intention and a purpose behind it versus just doing what something or a magazine or anybody just says, oh yeah, do this, oh yeah, do this. Have a purpose behind it, because if you're wearing too much, kind of like what you ladies were saying, it just feels like you're wearing and it's just gonna slip off and it just doesn't feel like you. And so by keeping your layers super thin and with intention, you can build up your makeup look so that it lasts longer on camera and that it looks more natural in person. Most of the time, I mean, I even experienced this morning where I was like getting ready so fast, but not really thinking about what I was doing. And then I ended up having to wash my face because I was like, this didn't feel like me. I was too much in a rush. It was too much makeup. So I just started over. But like,
it's nice to know that happens to the professionals too. It's not just like,
100%. It totally does. And it's the moment you like, there are times that you get to check out and just like do your makeup with like I'm just gonna do what feels good. But on your wedding day, it's so important to have so much intention behind each moment. I mean, photography is a great way to think about, because you have to think about your high points of your cheeks. Where's the hollows of your cheekbones? If you put, let's say, like a beautiful shimmery tone all the way through here, then in photos, it's gonna photograph just completely different than how you probably would want it to. So placement is really important for photography makeup, but also for in person, because a lot of times I tell people to like do the check. So you have a mirror, you're like looking this close to your mirror, but you also have to like step back, because usually that's like the space we're gonna see people in. I think now more than ever during COVID, you can even wear way more makeup because there's 6 feet distancing. So like they really got to see your highlight from far away. But like wedding day,
you don't have to worry about your wrinkles or anything right now. Like no one can see that.
Exactly. Everyone looks photoshopped right now. Yeah. So wedding day versus everyday makeup or in-person makeup, I think it's just going to go with the placement, and to remember to ask yourself why. That's when I say intention. Why is it going there?
And then I guess not on a dissimilar line, how would you make that makeup last the whole day? Because as you say, it can be like sort of 8 hours of all this. So how does it last all the day? Or are there like essential items the bride can like carry with her that to touch up? Like what are the key like touch up items that you're gonna need like 8 hours in after sun and sipping and drinks and all of the
after your party? Oh my god, a party. So what I love to tell brides is you have this opportunity to not just embrace one feature or one part of yourself. It's such a great opportunity for you to embrace different moments. So if we're during the wedding, you're walking down the aisle or the beginning of the wedding or what have you, you could have one look. But a great opportunity is to change up your look as you go, which is also a great way to think of it as touch-ups, but changing it up so that your photos change throughout the day. So like you walk down the aisle or you do your beginning of the day in one moment, what could the next moment of your day be? What could the next personality of yourself, like how could you embrace that? Is it changing your earrings? Is it adding a little bit more color to your lips? Is it whatever it is it half up, half down in your hair? So by changing your looks and giving yourself different genres of yourself, you can almost like make the most of your day with photos, because I mean, when's the next time you're gonna have like a camera crew like just following you? Like make the most of it.
Apparently you have it all the time because of your boyfriend.
No, y'all don't know.
Laura and I have envy. We try and get our halves to help us with photographs for bride sighting, and it's
I tell you.
I guess as well, if you're doing your own makeup, then you maybe have more opportunities to kind of do that through the day, rather than sort of paying a makeup artist to kind of be there all day or like twice a day and things. So I guess, yeah, it gives, empowers you to kind of change up your look.
Own it. Yeah. And then that goes into your touch-up bag, which was the second part of your question, where I was like, well, what's in my touch-up bag, Naomi? What should I keep? It's like, well, it depends. What is in your touch-up bag? What do you want to do? How do you want to feel later on in the day? Is it just one look? Okay, then like take a concealer, maybe a translucent powder. Ladies, translucent powder and blot powder is the game changer of makeup, because I don't know if you've ever felt like, I don't want to add more makeup, I just want to take away shine. So translucent powder is literally just going to take away shine. Or blot films for someone who's oily. Maybe you don't need any more powder, you just need to lift the shine. It's not about adding. Sometimes it's just about taking off what life put on. Like if you're shiny because you move in, like let's just take the shine off. We don't got to add more makeup,
Thank you so much, Naomi. That was great to chat to you, and I think will be really helpful for everybody watching. So if you want to check out Naomi's YouTube channel, we'll link that below, along with her Instagram and her website, so you can see everything that she offers. Don't forget to subscribe to Bride Society, and we'll see you next time.